Hey everyone, welcome to another foiled episode. Today we're going to be looking at a foiled deck I call Temur Tarmodrazi. I've posted plenty of gameplay videos on my channel, and today we're going to be going over the paper version of the deck that I own, going through the foils, the same as previous foiled episodes where I go through previous decks that I've showcased, like Temur Hooting Delver and Temur Rogues. You can go take a look at those in the playlist that I've set up called Foiled, as well as other foiled related episodes, including my mail day episodes. So let's get started with Noble Hierarch. Those of you who have seen previous episodes will know that I'm relatively disappointed with the foiling of this Noble Hierarch. Although you can't really see it in this video because the video lies. I feel like the foiling is just a bit too, faded. And I compare it to the foiling of Tarmogoyf, which comes from the same set. It's also the same color, it's green. And yeah, the foiling on the Tarmogoyf is way stronger. You might even see it. You might even be able to see the difference in this video. So yeah, I mean, like it looks cool. Look at her eyes. It looks like she's a demon. But yeah, I don't know. Noble Hierarch in general, though, in this deck is really great. It helps you accelerate into earlier Eldrazi. It helps you fix your mana, so you don't have to necessarily fetch for, or at least draw into colored mana. You can go for colorless instead. So Noble Hierarch plays a big role here. Exalted is also not trivial. I run 4 nobles, and yeah, Exalted makes your Tarmogoyf or your Eldrazi even bigger and scarier. That makes a big difference, especially when Reality Smasher is trampling. So what about Tarmogoyf? Now you can probably tell, come on, I'm not even trying to lead you here, the foiling is clearly stronger on Tarmogoyf. It might be the coloring, it might be the artwork, I'm assuming it is, because I'm assuming they used the exact same, foil sheet for all the cards in Ultimate Masters. But come on, look at Tarmogoyf. Look at the foiling, rewind the video and look at Noble Hierarch in comparison. The foiling is just way stronger on Tarmogoyf. This is obviously a foil card, even in a binder, sitting in a binder. Whereas Noble Hierarch, you have to take a second and third look. Artwork of this Tarmogoyf, that's my second favorite. I've said it before. My first favorite is from the Modern Masters era. It's blasphemous, whatever. I don't like the original artwork that much. And no, I'm not biased because the original foils cost like $1,000 each. It really has nothing to do with it. It's just I don't like the art. And like I said, I try and aim for full arts wherever I can. And there are only a few exceptions to that rule. So, of course, I'm running 4 Tarmogoyfs. I always say it feels weird to run less. So those are the 4. Now, usually Tarmogoyf is the big dog in the decks that I play, but it isn't. Not in an Eldrazi deck. Now, Thought-Knot Seer, I was about to call it Thoughtseize. I guess it's not that inaccurate. Now, Thought-Knot Seer is not bigger than Tarmogoyf usually. But it's a 4/4 body no matter what's in your graveyard. So it's still a big boy, and in reality, its main strength is its ability. Now, I have to admit, I really hate the second part of that ability. Because inevitably, Thought-Knot Seer is going to die, and having your opponent then draw a card just feels really shitty. Yes, you get to choose what card they discard, but that doesn't really matter. They don't get to choose what card they draw. They're still drawing a card. I don't know. It feels weird. I don't like it. As for the foiling of this, I mean, this is not an artifact, but it uses similar coloring, at least in the borders. I don't know. The artwork is cool. The foiling works for it. Take a look at it there. It works. Can't complain. And it's curving a bit, but not that bad. It's not something that would totally stick out. So of course I'm running 4 Thought-Knot Seers, or Thoughtseizes, I guess you can say. Thoughtseize on this deck. So there they are. Not that hard to find. I think I got these all from Card Kingdom. So there's your Thought Knot. And of course, your actual big baddie, your big beater that isn't Tarmogoyf in this deck. Reality Smasher. What a beast. What a beast. I mean, I hate playing against it. But when I'm playing with it, there are very few things in Modern that stand in Reality Smasher's way. Which I guess is, fitting for its name. But a trample, haste, 5/5. When it becomes a target of a spell or an ability, it gets counter unless your opponent discards a card. Come on. It's an unfair card. I remember Eldrazi Winter in Modern. And yeah, I was not happy playing against Reality Smasher decks at all. Foiling on this is very rainbowy, as you can see. That's okay. The artwork is pretty cool. Again, using artifact-like coloring, so everything kind of looks the same from one card to another. Of course, you're playing 4 Reality Smashers. Why would you play any less? I would play more if deck checks didn't exist. There is your full playset of Reality Smasher. Cool. Let's move on. So in Temur Tarmodrazi, there are 4 main creatures in the deck, which you just saw. Then I have 2 slots, flex slots I call them, where I play one of creatures most likely that kind of round out the deck, give me a bit more play, in certain situations. That I could also traverse for, right, if I need to. And I'm not necessarily traversing for Uro, but it works relatively well. We fill our graveyards, and it's not hard to cast, and a 6/6 body in a deck like this, even in a deck like this, I should say, does make a difference. Plus, it's not just a 6/6 body that we're thinking about here, it's the ability. And until Wizards ban 0, which I hope they don't, at least not in Modern, listen, gain 3 life, draw a card, put a land onto the battlefield for free. Why wouldn't you be playing this card? And every time it attacks, which is just so unfair when I'm playing against it. It just sucks. But when I'm playing with it, it's awesome. And you know what? Why wouldn't I? It fits well into the deck. I played with it quite a bit in this shell, in this archetype, and yeah, it works. Foiling is awesome. I approve of the foiling on this. They did a good job. Nice contrast with the art, as you can see. I always love it when I see that. It's not just a blanket foil on everything. Really well done. I'm only playing one of course. Like I said, these are just flex spots and usually just one-ofs. Uro fills one of those. Up next is Colaphis God of Destiny. I love this card. It is kind of a non-bow when you want your Tarmogoyfs to be big or you want to turn on Delirium and it's eating cards in the graveyard. But you have to keep in mind it could also eat cards in your opponent's graveyard, so there's time. Plus, in a world where not magic exists, and for those of you who don't know, not magic is dredge, Colaphis does have quite a bit of importance. Now, the foiling on these cards, I have to admit, was weird. I had to get used to it. I don't know if you've never felt these before. Once you do, you'll see what I mean. It's weird. I mean, it almost felt like it was fake when I got my hands on my first Colaphis. I wasn't sure. I was very skeptical. But yeah, no, it's just how they are. I have a few of these now, and they're all the same. I don't know, just the feel of the card is different. That being said, the artwork is awesome. I love the foiling process on this. Yeah, it's just A1, A+. It's really, 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 really cool. I love it. When I saw these, I'm like, yeah, this is what I want. I have Keranos as well. Really well done. Really, really cool. Really, really cool. But yeah, it feels weird. So that's it for the flex spots. Let's move on to the spells. Alright, we're on to the spells, starting with some removal. Tarfire, a tribal instant that is relevant, helps grow your Tarmogoyf, helps feed Delirium. The artwork is awesome. The foiling is a bit weird, I have to admit. I don't know how to explain it. Sometimes when you're moving it around in the light, it's almost as if the foiling fails temporarily, and there's no foil. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if this is true for all Lorwyn block foils or it's just Tarfire. I don't know. I'm trying to show you what I mean. I guess I look a bit crazy here, or I sound crazy, but it really does. Sometimes in the art itself, when I'm moving the foil around, it almost looks like for a second the foiling fails, and then it comes to. You kind of saw it there. Anyway, I'm just being nitpicky here, and I'm just trying to give you guys some detail on the foiling. If you experience that with your Tarfires, you are not alone. Tarfire is just shock, but why we play this over shock is because of the tribal. That is very relevant. It is removal, kind of like Seal of Fire, but the main win here is that it is tribal. Tribal counts as a card type in your graveyard, and that is all very, very relevant. So I'm playing 2. Don't need too many more than that in this deck. Up next, of course, Lightning Bolt. Doesn't need an introduction, doesn't need an explanation. We all know about Lightning Bolt. I love the artwork. A local artist. I have this artwork actually hanging on my wall. I had it signed by her in person at a GP in Montreal. Yeah, awesome. I love this art. I loved it before I met the artist and got the artwork. Just in case you're wondering. Always loved it. It's my favorite Lightning Bolt art. Look at that. Looks so nice. That lightning strike killing that poor soul. It's highlighted really well. Really nice foiling process. No curving. Not much anyway. Not more than what you would expect from an older foil card. Of course I'm running 4. Why would you run any less? It's Lightning Bolt. You're doing something wrong if you're running less. Just looks weird. A one of is Mana Leak. Run just 1 in this deck, or at least in the main board. Disappointed in my Mana Leak color in my Mana Leak art options when it comes to foils. This is essentially as good as it gets. Whatever. It is what it is. The foiling itself on this M11 card is fine. That's what you expect. And it's Mana Leak, it's permission. If I can run permission in my Temur deck, I will. One of the main reasons that Temur is so awesome is because it can be aggro and count control at the same time. Or in other words, you can play a tempo game. So yeah, that's the one Mana Leak. But in reality, the real awesome permission card in this deck is the next one. Stubborn Denial. What a beautiful card. Forget about the artwork. The artwork's whatever, it's standard. What an awesome design. What an awesome design. So let's take a look at Stubborn Denial from far. Let's just look at the art at the beginning, just for now. Really nice art. There's some purple in there. Really nice foiling with the purple. Foiling in cons was pretty good, pretty consistent. Blue is a really nice color to foil. And the artwork is, yeah, whatever, the artwork's whatever. I guess it's apropos for the theme of the set. But in reality, this card, especially in this deck, where basically every creature has 4 power, including Tarmogoyf, because we make it grow so quickly. This is basically a one mana counter most spells, right? You're not countering creatures, but you're literally countering everything else with this, which is awesome. I run 4 of. Why wouldn't you? Let's take a quick look at those 4. Beauties. Alright. Let's move on. Alright, so let's move on to the next three. After this we have the lands, so let's get through Mishra's Bauble. Still legal and modern. Yes, I did not get the original Mishra's Bauble. Why would I? The artwork is exactly the same. Why would I pay more for that foil? I guess I am not a purist in that sense. But listen, why would anyone buy a more expensive foil if the art is exactly the same, apart from the purists? That's the way I think about it, and it just makes it harder for me to sell. The foiling on this is pretty standard for an artifact, so not much to say. The art as well is whatever. I mean, it's really what the card does that matters here. And yeah, grows your Tarmogoyf at the same time, feeds Delirium, which is important for our next card. So you run a full playset. Looks nice in your hand when you have all four, though. Though I don't think I'd want to start the game with all four. Maybe I would. Up next, Traverse the Ulvenwald. Artwork and the foiling process on these kind of fight each other. You won't really see it too much in the video. You can kind of see it. You can tell that the foiling is stronger like in the text area than in the art. I don't know. Slightly disappointing. Still cool though. The card itself is what really matters, of course, not necessarily the art. And being able to tutor for any creature in your deck, especially in a deck that plays Tarmogoyf, Thought-Knot Seer, or Reality Smasher, is kind of ridiculous. Yeah. In a deck like this, Traverse is kind of disgusting. Because turn 4, you could, in theory, Traverse and go play Reality Smasher, which is kind of stupid. Heck, even if you do it turn 5, it doesn't really matter. The point is, you can do it. And yeah, that's just nuts. So of course you run 4. Don't run any less when you're playing Temur Tarmodrazi. Cool. Up next, an oldie but a goodie, Ancient Stirrings. I like the artwork on this. When they made the artwork, they're like, yeah, you're only really getting one thing. And that's Eldrazi. Ideally. So the foiling on this is pretty nice. Goes well with the art. Let's take a look there. So Ancient Stirrings, look at the top 5, pick a colorless card. So it's a land or an Eldrazi most of the time. If your life really sucks, you're getting a Mishra's Bauble. But usually that's not what you want. There are definitely less hits in this deck with Ancient Stirrings. But it's still very valuable to play. Very, very valuable. So, of course, you're playing 4. Those are your 4 Ancient Stirrings. Expensive foiling. Awesome. So that's it for spells. Let's finish off with the lands. Alright, for the lands, let's start with the basics. We have one of each, including a wastes. Too bad there's no Judge Full Art Waste. At least not yet. Until then, look at this beautiful Therese Nielsen artwork. Love the contrast on these. I think it's really well done with the foreground and the background of the art. Yeah, really well done. These are my favorite full art lands. Like I said, you're playing one of each in this deck. If you've seen previous episodes, you've definitely seen these before. Nothing new here. The only newcomer is the wastes. Let's take a look at the island. Looking good. Oh yeah. Looking very good. Love the artwork, love the foiling. I really love these cards. Really, really do. It's just stunning all around. and they look nice on the battlefield. So I'm playing one of each because sometimes, especially in a deck like this where colorless is a thing, being able to fetch for a specific color is important. It's not always easy to get all 3 colors plus colorless, especially a mountain. Alright, so now we have our forest looking good. The artwork is whatever. Can't say too much. It's consistent at least with the rest, and that's all that matters. There it is. Looking good. Last but not least, we got the wastes. So let's take a look at the one waste we're playing. There we go. Alright. Of the wastes, I mean, there aren't too many options here. I like this one the most in terms of the artwork. I don't know, it just looks a bit more technical. It looks pretty cool. Typical rainbow foiling on a card like this because of the color choices. Looks sweet. Really looks sweet. Alright, so one of each. Those are the basics. Let's move on to the fetches. Shocklands, and then we'll finish off with some Painlands. Alright, let's get going with the shocks and the fetches. Alright, Breeding Pool is up first. I like the art on Breeding Pool, it's pretty cool. It's not ambiguous like some of the other Expedition art. The birds don't really light up compared to Mr. Rainforest. Look at my other foil videos for that, which is interesting, but the flowers do. Okay, so we lost the birds, but we got the flowers, guys. We're gonna be okay. Yeah. Looks pretty cool. Breeding Pool. Green-blue, a bit more important in this deck than red-blue. So I'm not running any steam vents. Red-green also with Stomping Ground. Also a little bit more important than red-blue. Here we have our Stomping Ground. I guess literally stomping into the ground. A bit on the nose. I think I can see the pattern in art direction with the expeditions. Nevertheless, looking good. What more can you say about lands, really? Alright. Moving on to Wooded Foothills. Again, another card displaying, literally, Wooded Foothills. I mean, I guess I can't fault them for that. Let's take it out of its sleeve. Alright, there it is. There is some wooded. I suppose those are foothills, so we're just going to infer from the name of the card that those are foothills. Looking good either way. Same artist as Lightning Bolt that I enjoy, but yeah. I'll take Lightning Bolt over Wooded Foothills any day. Any day. Running 2 in this deck. Can't run too many fetches because we just have to run so many other lands. But I had the ability to squeeze 2 of these in. Last but not least, we have 2 Scalding Tarns. Although you're going to see one of them right now. So this is one of those okay artworks. I'm sure the artist put in a lot of effort into it, but I just don't get it. I guess that is a Scalding Tarn. Foiling. What can I say? It's an expedition. At least they're all consistent. color is consistent. Artwork is relatively consistent, for better or for worse. And yeah, like I said, I'm running 2, so those are the 2. Alright, let's move on to the final set of lands. The Pain lands and the Eldrazi Temple, of course. Alright, let's start with the Pain lands. Yavimaya Coast. Alright, I got it right. I didn't screw it up. Whew. So the artwork on Yavimaya is actually pretty cool, and the foiling is pretty cool too. I'm surprised. I don't know why I'm surprised, but I am. Just look at that foiling. It's super strong. And the artwork is just really, really good. I mean, my god, the foiling is so strong, it's almost hard to show you the artwork. There you go. The artwork is pretty cool. I like it. It sets a nice mood. I really love it. Running 2 of these in the deck. Pain lands are necessary evil because they also tap are colorless, which is important actually to cast Eldrazi. So I'm running 2. Up next is Carpulsan Forest, and honestly the artwork for this, listen, artwork is subjective. I love the artwork for Carpulsan Forest. Carpulsan Forest, whatever. Alright, you know what I'm talking about. First of all, let's just get the foiling down. I just really love the artwork. Let's look at the artwork. I love it. I don't know why. It's just trees in a mountain and it's snow. But I like it. Look, it's red-green, it's Christmas colors. It's snowing. Again, the foiling on this is super strong, so I can't even I can't show you the artwork perfectly so you could fully appreciate it. But I love the artwork. I love, love, love. Top 10 favorite land artwork for sure. Look at that. So awesome. I love it. Running 3 of these. There you go. Running 3. They're looking Christmassy and beautiful. Last but not least, you almost wonder why I didn't show this earlier, considering the fact that it's literally called Eldrazi Temple. And yes, again, not the OG foil because the artwork is the same. Why pay more for the same art? People are going to prefer the cheaper version. I want to have my selling options easier in the future if I ever need to sell cards. I do sell cards. I have an eBay store. Not that I am a store myself, but any overstock cards I don't need anymore, I sell there. I've been doing it for years. So I know what I'm saying. OG foils take forever to sell. Sometimes it's not worth it when you need money fast, so. Anyway, Eldrazi Temple, I get it. We're in a temple. It gives me the vibe from Alien. When you're in that spaceship, it kind of looks like a temple from the inside. The foiling is pretty good. There's some purple in there. Yeah, and yeah, it's fair. You add 2 colorless to your mana pool when you're casting Eldrazi spells. I'm not going to complain when I'm the one playing it. If I could play more of these in the deck, I would. I'm stuck to 4. It is what it is. Let's take a quick look at a full grip of Eldrazi Temple. There you go. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed looking at all these foils with me. If you're interested in this deck, I have plenty of gameplay videos on my channel. Take a look. I have a playlist. I also have a playlist for all my foiled series videos, so take a look at that. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content in general, I would appreciate a subscription, hitting the notification bell. Helps me in all sorts of ways. You have no idea. And yeah, it lets you know when there's more content. I post content weekly. I post content every other day during the week. I try to have a consistent schedule. And yeah, I hope you're really enjoying it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thanks, and have a good one.